Hillary Clinton just delivered instant karma to Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans. She just wrapped up a press conference in Chappaqua. It's the town that she lives in around upstate New York. She finished her deposition where she was called, subpoenaed by the MAGA Republicans in connection with the Epstein files, even though she doesn't appear on them and never met Epstein and has no connection to Epstein, unlike people in Donald Trump's cabal. In any event, she sat for her deposition. As I talked about earlier, you had MAGA Republicans like Lauren Boebert try to take photos of her, to which Hillary Clinton said, let's just allow the press to come in. If you're going to violate all the rules that you're setting about no cameras and no whatever, let's have the whole press come in. I want to do this hearing in public anyway. And then James Comer was like, no. Then Hillary Clinton held a press conference. It was a powerful press conference. It's vintage Hillary Clinton. She was clear. She was very specific. She punched back at these MAGA Republicans. She mocked them. It was great. Let me show you what went down moments ago as she stepped out of her deposition. She talked about how weird and unusual these MAGA Republicans were behaving in the deposition and how they started talking about Pizzagate and UFOs. Let's play this clip.
I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times. It then got, at the end, quite unusual because I started being asked about UFOs and a series of questions about Pizzagate, one of the most vile, bogus conspiracy theories that was propagated on the internet, that was serving as the basis of a member's questions to me.
Next, Hillary Clinton talked about an exchange that she thought was one of the most interesting exchanges of the deposition. Let's play this clip.
I can only say that the best exchange that I had came at the very end, when, contrary to every other deposition they have taken, no Republican member asked any questions about Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell to anyone else they have deposed. And in fact, the Republican members didn't even show up for the deposition of Les Wexner. And when I said that, I had to point out that the only questions that any Republican member asked of any of the people they deposed was of former Attorney General Bill Barr, when Chairman Comer asked him about the allegations, in his view, about Russia's involvement in my election in 2016. So at the very end of this hearing, after I made that point, I want to commend Chairman Comer for raising a series of significant questions that I responded to about the nature of the investigation and the areas that I thought should be explored. So I appreciated that. I want to see the truth come out. So that was a reassuring way to end a very long, repetitive deposition.
Next, Hillary Clinton talked about how these MAGA Republicans, the Congress members who were there, who didn't bother going to Les Wexner's deposition, or don't bother asking anyone else questions about Epstein in order to cover up for Donald Trump. She's like, look, we agreed to rules that they wanted and they started violating them. So I'm like, let's just let the press in. Here, play this clip, please.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good evening. Well, I have just finished testifying. I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew, and what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance. But whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself. We had asked for that. We think it would have been better for the committee and its efforts to gather whatever information they are seeking. We had a bit of a challenge in the beginning because we agreed upon rules based on the fact it was going to be a closed hearing at their demand, and one of the members violated that rule, which was very upsetting because it suggested that they might violate other of our agreements. So we had to cease the hearing for a period of time until we could get assurances that no rules would be broken going forward, and we returned to answer questions repetitively, literally over and over again. I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times.
She talks about what she's asked. She answers every question from the press. They ask her, well, how do you process the fact that your husband, Bill Clinton, is referenced in the Epstein files? Okay, so, you're going after Hillary Clinton for her husband? Okay, well, if that's the case, why don't you ask Melania all these questions? Because Donald Trump's like the lead character in the Epstein files. But anyway, watch Hillary Clinton answer this question with dignity. Let's play this clip.
You spoke in your opening remarks about how heartbroken you have been for the Epstein survivors as these files have come out. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you have processed and reacted to the fact that the former president, your husband, Bill Clinton, is referenced in the Epstein files numerous times, including in some photos featuring women? And how have you been personally preparing for the deposition that is coming tomorrow? Are you 100% confident that there isn't anything that the former president knows about Epstein's crimes?
I am, and I think the chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light, and that he was charged and sadly given a sweetheart deal, which, as I said in my statement, had that not happened, perhaps his predatory behavior could have been stopped earlier. But I think it is fair to say that the vast majority of people who had contact with him before his criminal pleas in 2008 were like most people. They did not know what he was doing. And I think that that is exactly what my husband will testify to tomorrow.
So then she's asked, do you still want to testify publicly, even though you gave this deposition? She's like, I'm not doing this again. What are you talking about? I offered to do it publicly. I'm doing it once. I had the opportunity to do it in public. I want this tape released. We can release the video deposition right away. Here, play this clip.
Madam Secretary, do you believe this was a fair hearing, and do you still want to testify publicly even though you gave this deposition?
Well, I'm not going to do it again.